Number 1. The 1969 Chevrolet Chevelle SS. The 1969 Chevrolet Chevelle is one of the most recognizable American muscle cars of the classic era, and this example is being offered for $33,000 in North Branford, Connecticut. With just 7,800 miles showing in the listing, this black-on-black Chevelle has the aggressive appearance many enthusiasts look for. But the most interesting part of this car is not simply its appearance. According to the seller, this is a car that has been owned by the same family for approximately 20 years and has been used as a real driver. The seller is very clear that this is not a Barrett-Jackson show car. Instead, it is described as a solid, enjoyable classic with some blemishes that is currently registered, insured, and being driven on the road. Under the hood is a GM 350ZZ4 fast-burn 400 crate engine, producing a claimed 400 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. The engine is paired with a TH350 3-speed automatic transmission, giving this Chevelle the kind of classic muscle car powertrain that is both familiar and relatively straightforward to maintain. Power is sent through a GM 12-bolt Posey rear end with 3.08 gears currently installed. The car also comes with an Eaton 3.73 ring and pinion setup, giving the next owner the option to change the gearing for stronger acceleration. The seller says the drivetrain, steering, and suspension have accumulated only about 8,000 miles over the last 16 years. The car also features power steering, power brakes, new ball joints, and new steering components. The suspension has been upgraded with Hotchkiss lowering springs, sway bars, and performance tie rods, while polyurethane bushings help sharpen the handling. Up front, the car has upgraded disc brakes with drilled and slotted rotors and performance pads. That combination gives this Chevelle a more modern driving character than a completely stock classic. The seller says the car drives straight and handles well, helped by the lower center of gravity and upgraded suspension. Cooling is handled by a 4-core radiator, and the seller reports that the engine has never exceeded 200 degrees even in hot weather. The exhaust system includes hooker headers, true dual Flowmaster exhaust, and cutouts for a more aggressive sound. The car rides on BF Goodrich Radial T/A tires, which reportedly still have approximately 60 to 70% tread remaining. The seller also says documentation and receipts for the mechanical work are included. So, is it worth the $33,000 asking price? In my opinion, this Chevelle's biggest appeal is that it appears to be built for actual enjoyment. It may not be a perfect show car, but it has a strong crate engine, a 12-bolt rear end, upgraded suspension, improved brakes, and a long ownership history. For someone who wants to buy a classic muscle car and actually drive it, that can be more appealing than purchasing a highly restored car that the owner is afraid to take out of the garage. Of course, buyers should inspect the body, floors, frame, paint, and documentation carefully. The seller openly acknowledges that the car has blemishes, so expectations should be realistic. But based on the description, this 1969 Chevrolet Chevelle offers a compelling combination of classic style, serious V8 power, modernized handling, and proven road use. At $33,000, it could be an interesting option for an enthusiast looking for a black-on-black Chevelle that is not just meant to sit at a car show, but is ready to get out on the road and have some fun.
Number 2. The 1966 Ford Fairlane 500. The 1966 Ford Fairlane 500 is a great example of a classic American car that keeps things simple and authentic. Listed in Blue Ridge, Georgia, for $29,500, this Fairlane is described as being in very good condition. Under the hood is the original 289 cubic inch Ford the 5th 8, paired with a 3-speed manual transmission mounted on the column. According to the seller, the car is all original except for the paint and wheels, which makes it especially interesting for buyers who appreciate a classic with a largely original character. The paint is said to be in excellent condition, receiving a 9 out of 10 rating from the seller. The car is also described as very solid, starting easily, running great, and driving as it should. There is something appealing about a classic like this that does not rely on an oversized engine or an extreme modification list. The original 289 V8 and 3-speed manual transmission give this Fairlane a straightforward, old-school driving experience that many collectors appreciate. In my opinion, This could be a very nice choice for someone looking for a clean, mostly original classic Ford. The combination of the original drivetrain, solid body, excellent paint, and manual transmission gives the car plenty of character. At $29,500, the asking price reflects the condition and originality being presented by the seller. For a serious buyer, an in-person inspection would still be important, especially to verify the quality of the paint, the condition of the floors and frame, and the originality of the drivetrain.
Number 3. The 1972 Pontiac LeMans. The 1972 Pontiac LeMans is a classic American coupe that offers a great combination of traditional Pontiac styling, V8 power, and comfortable cruising. This particular example is being presented as a dependable driver that has already received a restoration and several years of continued improvements. Located in Indianapolis, Indiana, this LeMans is listed for $24,500 OBO. It shows approximately 44,000 miles and features a cardinal red exterior with a black interior. Under the hood is the car's original 350 cubic inch Pontiac V8, paired with a TH350 automatic transmission. The engine is equipped with a quadrajet 4-barrel carburetor, while the exhaust system features MagnaFlow dual exhaust with an X-pipe, giving the car a more aggressive muscle car sound. The seller says the car was restored approximately 10 years ago by a previous owner and has continued to be improved over the last 3 years. The focus appears to have been on making the LeMans a reliable and enjoyable driver rather than simply a car that looks good sitting still. The cardinal red paint gives this Pontiac a strong classic appearance, while the V8 and dual exhaust system provide the kind of sound and character many enthusiasts expect from a 1970s American coupe. In my opinion, this LeMans has a very appealing balance between classic style and everyday usability. The original Pontiac 350, TH350 automatic, quadrajet carburetor, and upgraded exhaust give it plenty of traditional character, while the restoration history and recent improvements could make it a comfortable car to enjoy right away. At $24,500 OBO, I would want to review the restoration documentation and inspect the body and undercarriage closely, but this looks like the kind of classic Pontiac that could be enjoyed on weekend cruises, at local shows, or simply on the open road.
Number 4. The 1971 Chevrolet Camaro Z/28 Coupe. What if you want the aggressive look of a classic second-generation Camaro, but with the style and attitude of a vintage motion-inspired build? This 1971 Chevrolet Camaro, listed at $59,500 in Lansing, Michigan, is being presented as an incredibly clean motion tribute. The car reportedly spent its early life in California and most of its later years in Arizona before undergoing a frame-off restoration in 2021. That history is important because the seller says this is an all-original panel car, and the floors are highlighted as part of the vehicle's clean condition. The Camaro has approximately 2,600 miles since completion, giving the next owner the opportunity to enjoy a freshly completed classic without starting the restoration process from scratch. Under the hood is a 355 cubic inch blueprint engine, described as running strong. While the engine is not the original factory Z/28 power plant, it provides a modern performance foundation for a classic Camaro that is designed to be driven and enjoyed. The car also features four-wheel disc brakes, which should provide a significant improvement over the braking systems found on many older classics. The exterior is finished in a striking gold color, paired with a black interior. The seller describes the paint as being near perfect. The Camaro also wears new Craigar wheels and BF Goodrich tires, giving it a classic muscle car appearance with a strong period-inspired look. Inside, the car features a tilt steering wheel and Dakota digital gauges, combining classic styling with modern instrumentation. And that combination is really what makes this Camaro interesting. You get the shape and presence of a second-generation Camaro, but with modern upgrades that can make the car more comfortable and enjoyable to drive. So, is it worth the asking price? Personally, I think the biggest appeal is the combination of the clean original body, frame-off restoration, strong 355 engine, modern braking system, and unique motion-inspired styling. At $59,500, this is certainly not an inexpensive Camaro. Buyers should carefully verify the quality of the restoration, the condition of the original panels, the frame and floors, and the documentation behind the build. It is also important to understand exactly what is meant by the Z/28 and motion tribute descriptions, because this car should be evaluated as a tribute-style build rather than assumed to be a documented original motion or factory original Z/28 without proper verification. But for someone who wants a distinctive second-generation Camaro that stands out from the crowd, this could be a very interesting choice. The seller says there are plenty of Gen 2 Camaros available, but very few that look like this. And that may be the strongest argument for this particular build. If you're looking for a clean, heavily restored, performance-oriented 1971 Chevrolet Camaro with a strong engine, four-wheel disc brakes, modern gauges, and a unique motion-inspired personality, this example in Lansing, Michigan, deserves a closer look.
Number 5. The 1967 Chevrolet Chevelle. This 1967 Chevrolet Chevelle, listed in the Clayton, Georgia area for $25,000, is a classic muscle-era Chevrolet with a straightforward performance-focused setup. The car is finished in black with a black interior and is equipped with a 350 cubic inch V8 paired with a 4-speed Borg-Warner Super T10 manual transmission. That combination immediately gives this Chevelle a more engaging driving character than an automatic cruiser. The Super T10 is well known among classic car enthusiasts, and having a manual transmission in a 1967 Chevelle adds plenty of appeal for drivers who want a more involved experience behind the wheel. The seller states that the car runs, drives, and stops, which is an important starting point for any classic project or driver-quality muscle car. The listing also mentions a bill of sale and tag receipt, so buyers should carefully verify the paperwork and understand exactly what documentation is included before completing a purchase. The mileage is listed at 12,345 miles, but the unusual number means the actual mileage should be verified rather than assumed. Personally, I think the combination of a 350 V8, 4-speed manual transmission, and classic black-on-black appearance gives this Chevelle a lot of potential. It may not be presented as a fully restored show car, but it could be a solid foundation for someone who wants a classic Chevrolet they can drive and continue improving. At $25,000 cash, the seller says negotiations will take place in person, so the condition of the body, frame, floors, drivetrain, and paperwork will be especially important. The 1967 Chevrolet Chevelle remains one of the most recognizable American muscle cars of its generation. And with a 350 V8, a 4-speed manual transmission, and a classic black appearance, this example could offer the right enthusiast a fun and potentially rewarding classic car project. Number 6. The 1955 Chevrolet Wagon. The 1955 Chevrolet Wagon is a great example of classic American styling from one of the most memorable eras in Chevrolet history. With its unmistakable mid-1950s design, this wagon combines vintage charm with the practicality of a larger family car. This example is listed for $47,000 in Belews Creek, North Carolina, and comes with a clean North Carolina title. Finished in blue with a white interior, the car has the classic two-tone appearance that fits the 1950s perfectly. The seller describes it as a beautiful wagon that attracts attention everywhere it goes. Under the hood is a 350 small block Chevrolet V8, paired with an automatic transmission. That combination provides a familiar and well-supported drivetrain that should offer plenty of power for cruising. The car is also equipped with several features that make it much more comfortable to drive than a completely original 1950s vehicle. It has air conditioning, heat, and power steering, making it better suited for longer drives and regular weekend cruising. The car rides on American racing wheels, giving the classic body a more customized appearance while adding to its overall presence. The seller says this wagon gets looks everywhere it goes, and that is easy to understand. A 1955 Chevrolet has a distinctive shape that stands out immediately, and the wagon body style makes it even more unusual compared with the more commonly seen sedans and coupes. So, is it worth the $47,000 asking price? In my opinion, this is the type of classic that appeals to buyers who want attention and character. The 350 V8, automatic transmission, air conditioning, heat, and power steering make it a much more usable cruiser than a completely stock example. However, at this price point, I would want to inspect the quality of the bodywork, paint, interior, and mechanical upgrades carefully. The buyer should also verify the condition of the frame, floors, and suspension before completing the purchase. Still, the combination of 1955 Chevrolet styling, wagon practicality, a small block V8, and modern comfort features gives this car plenty of appeal. At $47,000, this blue and white 1955 Chevrolet Wagon is definitely aimed at someone who wants a distinctive classic that can be enjoyed on the road and will almost certainly attract attention wherever it goes.
Number 7. The 1965 Chevrolet Nova. The 1965 Chevrolet Nova, also known as the Chevy 2, is one of those classic American cars that can be enjoyed exactly as it is, or developed into something much more serious. This example is listed in Selden, New York, for $20,000. It has a blue exterior, a green interior, an automatic transmission, and approximately 23,000 miles shown. The car also comes with a clear history and transferable registration in hand. Under the hood is a 355 cubic inch V8, equipped with an Edelbrock intake manifold and long tube headers. Cooling is handled by an aluminum radiator and a 14-inch electric fan set to activate at 185 degrees. Power is sent through a turbo 350 automatic transmission with a shift kit, controlled by a B&M mega shifter. At the rear is a 10-bolt differential, while the suspension has been upgraded with a new CCP tubular front end and new rear leaf springs. The Nova also features power brakes with a new booster, new floors, and a new gas tank. Camaro wheels add a little extra attitude to the classic compact Chevy. According to the seller, all the lights work, along with the speedometer, odometer, fuel gauge, and wipers. Most importantly, the car is said to start right up and drive extremely well. The seller is also very honest about the cosmetic condition. The paint is described as old and dull, so this is not being presented as a perfect show car. Instead, it appears to be a solid driver with a strong mechanical foundation and plenty of potential for a future cosmetic makeover. And yes, the listing even includes the rather unusual fuzzy Pimp Daddy bucket seat covers, a detail that certainly gives this Nova its own personality. In my opinion, this could be an interesting choice for someone who wants a classic Chevy that is already mechanically upgraded but still leaves room for personal improvements. The 355 V8, turbo 350 transmission, tubular front suspension, power brakes, and new floors give the car a strong foundation, while the tired paint keeps the door open for a future restoration or custom build. At $20,000, the main things I would want to inspect are the quality of the bodywork, the condition of the frame and undercarriage, and the details of the engine and suspension upgrades. But for someone looking for a fun, powerful, and usable 1965 Nova, this one certainly has plenty of character.
Number 8. The 1967 Ford Galaxie 500 Convertible. The 1967 Ford Galaxie 500 Convertible is a classic full-size American cruiser with the kind of presence that is hard to miss. This example may not be presented as a perfect show car, but it offers the opportunity to enjoy a large, open-top Ford with plenty of traditional V8 character. Located in Greencastle, Pennsylvania, this Galaxie is listed for $24,000. The seller is offering the car on behalf of a family member and is very clear that this is not a show car. There are some blemishes, which are reportedly visible in the video, but the overall condition is described as good. Under the hood is a 390 cubic inch V8, paired with a C6 automatic transmission. The seller also says the car drives as it should and has received a number of new parts. One of the most important features on any classic convertible is the top, and in this case, the seller says the convertible top works properly. In my opinion, this Galaxie 500 is best viewed as a driver-quality classic rather than a concours restoration. That can actually be a positive for someone who wants to enjoy a vintage convertible without being afraid to put miles on it. The 390 V8, C6 transmission, working convertible top, and reported mechanical improvements give it plenty of appeal. At $24,000, a buyer should carefully inspect the cosmetic blemishes and verify the condition of the body and frame, but this could be a fun old-school cruiser for someone who values driving enjoyment over perfect show car presentation.
Number 9. The 1965 Ford Falcon. What if you're looking for a lightweight classic Ford with a V8 engine and a 4-speed manual transmission? This 1965 Ford Falcon, listed at $20,000 in Harts, West Virginia, could be an interesting option for someone who enjoys simple, lightweight American performance. The car is finished in a classic red exterior and is equipped with a 289 cubic inch V8 paired with a 4-speed manual transmission. That combination gives the Falcon a very different personality from the typical 6-cylinder cruiser many people associate with these cars. The Falcon was known for its relatively compact size and lightweight body, and adding a 289 V8 with a 4-speed transmission creates a classic combination that could be a lot of fun on the street. The seller reports approximately 3,500 miles, although a potential buyer should always verify the mileage and vehicle history before making a purchase. The car is also equipped with power brakes, which is a useful upgrade for a classic that is intended to be driven regularly. The seller describes it simply as a good car and is open to either a sale or a trade. However, the seller has also made it clear that certain trades are not of interest, including boats, motorcycles, ATVs, and newer model cars. So, is it worth the $20,000 asking price? Personally, I think the biggest appeal here is the drivetrain. A 289 V8 and 4-speed manual in a compact 1965 Falcon can create a very enjoyable classic driving experience. But because the listing description is short, buyers should ask for more information about the body, frame, floors, engine condition, transmission, paint, interior, and restoration history. At this price, the overall condition will be extremely important. If the car is solid, clean, and mechanically sorted, the combination of lightweight Ford styling and V8 power could make it a very fun weekend cruiser. But a thorough inspection is still essential, especially when the listing provides limited details about the car's history and current condition. For someone searching for a classic Ford with a simple, lightweight body and a traditional V8 and 4-speed combination, this 1965 Ford Falcon in Harts, West Virginia, could be worth a closer look. It may not have the size or reputation of a Mustang, but that is part of what makes a V8 powered Falcon interesting. It's a little more unusual, a little more understated, and potentially a lot of fun to drive.
Number 10. The 1968 Ford Mustang Fastback. This 1968 Ford Mustang Fastback, listed in Toms River, New Jersey, is priced at $33,000 and combines genuine fastback body style with a serious performance-focused drivetrain. The car is finished in a beige exterior with a black interior and is listed with 58,000 miles. The seller describes it as a genuine C-code fastback, with all 3 VIN numbers reportedly matching the car. Under the hood, this Mustang has been significantly upgraded. The original style small block setup has been replaced with a 351 Windsor stroked to 408 cubic inches, featuring what the seller describes as strong internal components. The engine is paired with a built C4 automatic transmission and a 9-inch rear end, creating a combination that should provide plenty of performance potential. The car also features rear disc brakes, an important upgrade for a Mustang with this kind of power. Personally, the biggest attraction here is the combination of a real 1968 fastback body and a modernized performance drivetrain. The fastback shape alone is one of the most desirable Mustang designs of the era, while the 408 cubic inch Windsor gives this car considerably more muscle than a stock example. At $33,000, the buyer should carefully verify the VIN documentation, the quality of the engine build, the transmission, the rear end, and the overall condition of the body and floors. The mileage is listed at 58,000 miles, but with a heavily modified drivetrain, the condition and quality of the current build may be more important than the odometer reading. The 1968 Ford Mustang Fastback remains one of the most iconic American performance cars ever built. And with a genuine fastback body, a stroked 408 Windsor, built C4 transmission, 9-inch rear end, and upgraded rear disc brakes, this example could offer a classic Mustang appearance with serious street performance potential. Number 11. The 1971 Chevrolet Chevelle Malibu. The 1971 Chevrolet Chevelle Malibu is a great example of a classic American cruiser that combines original character with a few tasteful upgrades. This example is listed for $32,500 in Pickerington, Ohio, and the seller describes it as being in like-new condition. One of the biggest highlights is the claimed 69,000 original miles. The car is finished in the factory-inspired rosewood color, paired with a black interior, and the seller says it has no rust and excellent chrome. Under the hood is the original 307 cubic inch Chevrolet V8, connected to a 350 automatic transmission. The car also features power steering and a posi-traction rear end, giving it a good combination of classic drivability and improved traction. The seller describes the car as an early 1990s restoration that has been carefully maintained over the years. It has reportedly been protected with Z-Bart rust-proofing and stored under cover in a heated garage. Visually, the Chevelle has a strong classic muscle car appearance. It rides on 15-inch rally wheels with Cooper Cobra GT tires, giving the car a more aggressive stance without taking away from its vintage character. The car also features a cowl hood, headers, and a MagnaFlow dual exhaust system, which gives the 307 V8 a more noticeable sound than a completely stock setup. The seller says the car needs very little, with the main known issues being a non-working fuel gauge and radio. Included with the sale are the original wheels and hubcaps, exhaust manifolds, and the original hood. There is also a significant collection of new, uninstalled parts included, including a front disc brake conversion kit with booster, upper and lower control arms, and new brake, fuel, and transmission lines. So, is it worth the $32,500 asking price? In my opinion, this Chevelle has several appealing qualities. The low claimed mileage, rust-free condition, original 307 engine, rosewood color, and long-term garage storage all add to its appeal. It is also interesting that the seller has already purchased several major components for a future brake and suspension upgrade. That gives the next owner the opportunity to improve the car's stopping power and handling while keeping the parts with the vehicle. The buyer should still verify the mileage, inspect the restoration work, and carefully examine the body, frame, floors, and underside. It would also be worth confirming the condition of the posi rear end and the quality of the previous restoration. But for someone looking for a clean, well-kept early 70s Chevelle that is more about cruising and ownership enjoyment than extreme horsepower, this could be a very interesting car. At $32,500, this 1971 Chevrolet Chevelle Malibu offers classic styling, a desirable color combination, low claimed mileage, and a solid foundation for someone who wants a clean American cruiser with room for future upgrades.
Number 12. The 1967 Chevrolet Impala SS. The 1967 Chevrolet Impala SS is a classic full-size Chevrolet with the kind of presence that is difficult to ignore. This example combines iconic Impala styling with one of Chevrolet's most desirable big-block engines. Listed in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, for $44,000, this Impala SS features a clean white two-door hardtop body paired with a striking red vinyl interior. Under the hood is a 427 turbojet V8, one of the biggest and most powerful engines offered in Chevrolet's full-size performance lineup during this era. The engine bay is presented in clean condition, with a chrome air cleaner and the classic Chevrolet orange engine block adding to the period-correct appearance. The car also features chrome bumpers and rides on rally wheels wrapped in BF Goodrich radial T/A tires, giving it the unmistakable look of a classic American muscle car. In my opinion, the biggest attraction here is the combination of the large 427 engine and the elegant full-size Impala body. This is not a small, lightweight muscle car. It is a big, bold Chevrolet with serious road presence and the kind of engine that gives the car an entirely different level of appeal. The white exterior and red interior also create a very attractive color combination, while the rally wheels keep the appearance firmly connected to the muscle car era. At $44,000, this Impala SS is aimed at buyers who appreciate both size and performance. Before purchasing, a serious buyer should verify the authenticity of the SS package, confirm the 427 engine details, and inspect the car's documentation and mechanical condition. But if the details check out, this could be a very impressive classic Chevrolet, especially for someone who wants a big block Impala that stands apart from the more common Chevelle and Camaro choices.
Number 13. The 1960 Chevrolet Bel Air. The 1960 Chevrolet Bel Air is one of the most recognizable American classics of the early 1960s, and this example combines iconic styling with a powerful V8 and a manual transmission. Located in Kidder, Missouri, this two-door hardtop is listed for $45,000. The car shows approximately 12,345 miles and features a tan exterior with a burgundy interior. It is described as being in very good condition and comes with a clean title. Under the hood is a 348 cubic inch V8, listed at approximately 5.7 liters, paired with a 4-speed manual transmission. The seller says both the engine and transmission have been completely rebuilt. That combination makes this Bel Air especially interesting. A full-size Chevrolet from this era already has plenty of visual presence, but the V8 and manual transmission give it a more engaging driving experience than a typical automatic cruiser. The seller describes the car simply as a beautiful car, and the overall presentation suggests this is intended to be a finished classic rather than a project waiting for major work. In my opinion, the biggest attraction here is the combination of style and drivetrain. The 1960 Bel Air has unmistakable period-correct design, while the rebuilt 348 V8 and 4-speed manual transmission give it a much more special character. At $45,000, buyers should verify the restoration quality, documentation, and exact mileage, but if the condition matches the description, this could be a very desirable classic Chevrolet for someone looking for a full-size car with genuine V8 personality and a manual transmission.
Number 14. The 1968 Chevrolet Impala SS. What if you want a full-size American classic with plenty of style, plenty of room, and the unmistakable look of a late 1960s Chevrolet? This 1968 Chevrolet Impala SS, listed at $32,995 in Northampton, New Hampshire, is a classic that combines dramatic styling with the comfort of a full-size cruiser. The car is finished in a striking red exterior with a black interior, creating a traditional and very attractive Chevrolet color combination. It has approximately 105,000 miles and is equipped with an automatic transmission. The seller describes the car as being in excellent condition, with a clear history and no significant damage or problems reported. One of the biggest appeals of a car like this is its presence. The 1968 Impala has the long, low proportions that define classic American full-size cars from the era. The styling is unmistakable, and the SS appearance gives the car a more performance-oriented personality than a standard family sedan. At the same time, this is still a large, comfortable classic that can be enjoyed on weekend cruises, local car shows, or long highway drives. The automatic transmission also makes it easy to drive, especially for someone who wants to enjoy a classic car without the extra work of managing a manual transmission in traffic. So, is it worth the $32,995 asking price? Personally, the condition will be the most important factor here. A potential buyer should carefully inspect the body, frame, floors, engine compartment, interior, and underside, while also verifying the car's history and the authenticity of the SS equipment. The reported 105,000 miles is not necessarily a problem for a well-maintained classic, but the mechanical condition and quality of any restoration or previous work should be carefully evaluated. If the car is genuinely in excellent condition as described, the combination of the red exterior, black interior, full-size Chevrolet styling, and Impala SS identity makes it an attractive classic. For someone looking for a large, stylish, and recognizable 1960s American cruiser, this 1968 Chevrolet Impala SS in Northampton, New Hampshire, could be worth a closer look. It may not be the smallest or lightest classic on the road, but that's part of the appeal. This is the kind of car that makes a statement simply by arriving.
Number 15. The 1968 Mercury Cyclone GT Fastback. This 1968 Mercury Cyclone GT Fastback, listed in Palmyra, Pennsylvania, is priced at $25,000 OBO and offers something a little different from the more familiar Mustang and Camaro names of the muscle car era. Finished in red with a black interior, this Cyclone has a reported 12,812 miles and is powered by a modified 302 V8. The seller says the engine has been bored out to approximately 5.3 liters, and it has received performance upgrades including new rockers and pushrods. The engine also has new gaskets, while other recent work includes a new battery, alternator, starter, and thermostat. According to the seller, the car runs great and starts easily. Visually, the paint is described as clean, although not perfect, and the car reportedly has zero rust. That's a major positive for a classic from the late 1960s. There are some imperfections inside, including a small tear in the seat and a crack in the dashboard. The car also features dual side exit exhaust with cherry bomb mufflers, which should give this Cyclone a distinctly aggressive sound. Personally, I think the rarity and styling are the biggest attractions here. The Fastback roofline gives the Cyclone a strong muscle car presence, while the modified small block V8 provides a more personal and performance-oriented character. At $25,000 OBO, the car could appeal to someone looking for a classic Ford-powered muscle car that stands out from the more common choices. The 1968 Mercury Cyclone GT Fastback may not have the same level of recognition as a Mustang, but with its fastback design, modified V8, zero reported rust, recent mechanical work, and distinctive side exit exhaust, this could be an interesting classic for an enthusiast who wants something a little more unusual.